What's up, guys? It's Mr. Janvin, and today we are back on the Pokemon Showdown server. I'm going to be using this team by Eclipse. I believe he said he used this one or one of them to have a lot of success in the OLT run. So I want to shout out to him. He's one of the competitive heads within the academy, and so it's going to be a beautiful thing to see him progress, as well as Storm Zone, which is one of the coaches within the society. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna be hopping right into it. Just a little bit of a recap, because I know it's been I believe I may have released one Road to Top 10 episode last week. What is this? 1770. So I'm guessing I decayed this, because when we stopped last time we were 18 something, but we have 4 losses to give, because I mean it's been days. It's been probably, actually surprised I didn't decay more. I didn't realize it was that long, but it's been maybe 6 days, 5-6 days. So obviously the goal is the same, but we have only 4 losses to give, so we're just aiming to win. It's a very interesting team. It has expanding force VICTINI, which I think is quite cool, and blue flare. Pretty much just stab and U-turn, which is very rare. You usually have bold strike, but I see the logic in expanding force, quite powerful. And so we're aiming to use this as primarily Spadef Pharaoh and Fizdef Landorus. Okay, so in observing this one, Landorus's core purpose is going to be to semi-guard against his Celesteela, which is a bit odd. So that's going to be a funny mon to deal with, as well as Heatran. So Moonblast switches are going to be Heatran and Celesteela. So one focus blast on either of those will open up this game tremendously. Tapu Fini is a huge issue. His Weavile could be concerning if I allow it to get out of hand. I guess, well, what I could do, I just don't think this is going to be a simple game. I don't think it's one of my options. And we're going to aim to end game him with Weavile, SD Weavile. The only real solution he has to that is whatever his Celesteela variant is. But I imagine Ferrothorn coming in, either capturing Celesteela with a knock, or his Zapdos with a knock, or Ferrothorn with a knock. Ideally, I want Heatran to be, what gets knocked, but if I can hit the Thunder or hit the Focus Blast, that's a phenomenal situation. But the things I guard the force against is certainly Rotom and Heatran. So what I'll do is I'm aiming for the Celesteela end game. Landorus rears its ugly head, Psychic Terrain. So it's Intimidate. I mean it's Intimidate Landorus. No shit, Jam. It's a, well, what I can do is Overwhelm with Psy Shock. Overwhelming with Psy Shock is an option. If you probably like, Jam, you could just right here you should fear Spec Psychic. I've seen a rise in Spadef Lando, so Spec Psychic wouldn't KO. Weavile coming in would be annoying, but that's a super high risk play. Super high risk, low reward. The best you get there is, I mean, not low reward, right? You'd like to remove my Finny's item, but he opted for, okay, I'm going to, give you most of my Landorus's health for that damage on top of Finny. I disagree with it, but it works for me. So now the question is, do I read into the Weavile, and is it worth reading into? Because otherwise I'm dealing with rocks being up, which aren't the worst thing in the world. It does limit my Finny. It does limit my Lele. My gut is telling me he's going to leave it in, but I'm thinking Weavile coming in means I have to give up my leftovers on Finny, which means that Heatran is a much bigger issue. I'm gonna Psy Shock. I knew it. A horrible play. I was just thinking about. I was like, well, if Ferrothorn, if I have to give up an item, I'll let it be Ferrothorn instead of Finny, just so we can prolong this experience. I again completely disagree with his decision. When you're that turn one implies that he's a gut style of player. Like he goes with, well, let me try to predict my opponent. What's his 1880? I mean, I think a lot of 1900 players do the same. Forgive me if you hear a bit of thing in the background, but that makes him a lot more unpredictable, I'll say. So, that signifies me having to stick even tighter to a game plan. But as I said, Finny, pretty obvious. So Nox should come out here. That little bit of a damage isn't the biggest deal in the world. This allows for me to knock off. Ideally, would have been Ferrothorn. So you see what I'm talking about? He SD'd versus my Ferrothorn. Now, the likelihood of me just going for Gyro Ball there was pretty low. Ferro literally loses to almost everything on his team except the Rotom. So now he's gonna risk triple axle, hitting all the time. They always get the third one though. Yep. That's the trade. He does get the hit on my Finny, so I guess he gets what he wants. Problem is now you're super Victini and Tapu Lele and my Weavile weak. I mean, you're already Weavile weak, but now it's a serious issue. So that was again, had I just Gyro Balled there, Power Whip there, dead. But hey, it worked out for him. So my goal now is I'm curious as to what his Heatran is. His Heatran just seems really, it's not rocks, I don't think, unless the Lando is rocks. So the Lando might have been Spadef. I don't know enough about spec size shock versus Lando. At this point, Lele is very important. Thunder goes crazy. And if I can get certain conditions met, meaning Heatran getting chipped, then so he does have Hurricane. So he was willing to Hurricane risk. I mean, I guess it's not too much of a risk considering you think Heatran rocks. How important is rocks for me? Versus toxicking this Zapdos. What I'm not certain of is how fast it is and if it's offensive or not. And I'm not Spadef and I don't have leftovers. And when would I be able to come back in to set up rocks? So what I'm gonna do, let's say it's max HP. What I'm gonna do is toxic here. We're gonna rocks. Hurricane's super high risk. I don't think Zapdos would have been what. I mean, I don't know. I think Rotom is a little better because he at least guaranteed that you'll gain value out of the turn versus Finny. Whereas with Zapdos, as you're risking Hurricane and most Landor Spadef, so you wouldn't even deal with the Landers. Hey, it's still far from over though, because we just lack the information on Celesteela could be like that one autotomized Meteor Beam set. So we managed to get up rocks there. Unfortunately, I'd love to actually get. Do I need Weavile to be at full? It'd be nice versus Rotom, but no. What I'm want to be careful of is giving setup opportunities. So it says he has defog. I'd be shocked if it had pretty likely power there. I get that. I'd be shocked if I wanted the Misty Terrain up when Weavile came in, which is why I thought about it. I was like, man, I probably should have U-turned there. But I'm wary of the Finny coming in is just pure like upside, and he's missed a lot of moves, So side shock, so volt switch would be in your best interest here. Again, I just want to be careful of the it's probably hydro pumps here. Pain split, interesting. Saw rocks if I'm faster because Lele comes in and side shocks. Moonblast might kill, but I don't need to knock him out. Celesteela comes in. So he has leftovers. Okay, so I'm not as terrified anymore. Leech Seed is going to come out, obviously. And this allows for me to pivot to Finny. He double seeds. Kudos. Oh, kudos. Substitute, huh? What is this? This isn't good. So with blue flip, oh, that's a big miss. And again, you know, he's missed a bit of stuff. So this is concerning. I'm not sure what this does, in all honesty. Blue flare again. I'm not sure if he has. I see. Blue flare once more. He won't sub this turn. Okay, so he's just subbing down because he thinks he has the upper hand. Okay. Taunt to see what he does. I'm really not Meteor. What the fuck? I shouldn't die. Well, he's gonna. Wow, that's actually really. Whoa. I shouldn't die, but still. Yeah, that's actually really fucking bad. It'll give Victini the free switching, but that's actually like kind of cool, but horrible for us. Because he loses if he lets me get my Heatran. If he lets me get. Should switch the Celesteela out, but I'll V-create anyway. I can't really play with it at this point. That's actually a very. I thought I had the game. I'm like, man, let me careful of this Celesteela, but very cool set. Very cool set. Gave me a lot of trouble. So this game's gonna come down to the Focus Blast, which I did not want, but you know, it is what it is. I allowed Weavile to get paralyzed, which I didn't think would matter, but very, very cool set. Him hitting Magma Storm there is a big deal. So now it comes down to hitting this Focus Blast. Come through, Lele, thank you. Actually, might still be a L, because Expanding Force probably won't KO and make it. So that was actually a really, 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 given up how much luck I had to get, it's a pretty poor loss. I probably didn't play his team the way it was supposed to. I don't regret anything though. The Celesteela, I probably shouldn't have let Zapdos. I could have given up Zapdos for Weavile. I just knew if Landorus was in, no, I could have still given up. I didn't expect him to defog there, but the terrain was about to wear off. So what I should have done versus the Zapdos was U-turn, get the Finny in on terrain so that I couldn't die to instead of toxicking the Zapdos. No, instead of stealth rocking, I should have U-turned that turn, which would have allowed Weavile. Though I don't know if it's autotomized Meteor Beam. And I guess that doesn't really solve the problem. My solution was just to let a Meteor Beam something that's not Victini and then live the Air Slash and V-create. But yeah, we start off with a pretty tough loss. Very, very cool Celesteela step. Even without the blue flare miss, I don't think it was too pivotal. Focus Blast is a lot less than I expected as well. I thought he'd bring it to Expanding Force range, where I think at that point I might have won, but maybe his Rotom would have been weird set. So I'd say overwhelmed with Moonblast. I think I played this dude before, and I'm not sure. I don't remember if this was the guy. But cloister things, depending on Rillaboom. Okay. Weavile is a huge issue for him. So I wouldn't be shocked if he had something like Flare Blitz. Or this is Sashed. If it's red card and I'm Choice Banded or Life Orb, I think he dies. Unless he EV'd it specifically for this. Yeah, that was actually a really risky decision by him. So obviously here, if he goes to the Cloister, I'm just gonna knock it off. So you can't get the what's his face? I'll give him King's Rock, whatever. As long as you can't flinch my Finny. Yeah, I think Finny was the better of the two. I was thinking Ferrothorn, but Ferrothorn, I don't know if Gyro Ball would kill, and I can miss. Like at this point, you can't take a. I keep forgetting Weavile is my fastest mon. So what would I like? A Gengar would be problematic. Ferrothorn's core purpose at this point would be to eat a. I don't think Shadow Ball would have killed me, given how much speed F I had. But maybe he's like, well, I can't. You know, you can't do shit to me anyway. So. Like, why not, right? So I'll Gyro Ball here as he commits to leaving the Gengar in. This is very problematic if it's a Focus Blast variant. And it just lived too. Like, it just lived with just enough. I don't think I've ever seen... Well, he was Focus Blast and missed. That's the nature of the blast. But I don't think I've ever seen a So at this point, we control the narrative, right? Of course, Hawlucha would try to double in. So, force it to not get the boost. I was just thinking, if I go Lele... But yeah, that was a big Focus Blast miss. But that's Focus Blast. I can't really... You know, it's just... That's just the nature of that move. You're gonna miss 9 times out of 10. You know what I could have done? I could have risked if I was willing to risk the Thunder Focus Blast misses on Lele earlier in the last game, I probably won. I just wasn't willing to. Hawlucha, Unburden Sweeper, none. Acrobatics does 70 max. So I get to Moonblast here. Yeah, and I can survive another, because right, he goes Rillaboom here. Which is actually perfect. I was just thinking what would need to happen. Can't defog. Don't have body press. Let's say he turns out into Bisharp as I go to Landers. That won't work. Because I need to make sure the Bisharp can't Sucker Punch, or I have terrain up so where Landers can't KO. So if I go Ferrothorn and I beat it down to the point he's in a sack. Yeah, I think Ferrothorn is a failsafe, no matter what the Rillaboom does. In fact, this is arguably a choke by him. Like I think, well, he doesn't have U-turn, so I guess, you know, what is he gonna do, right? I'm gonna spike, because right here, like now Lele comes in, and you guaranteed lose, because you have to Grassy Glide, and then I just V-create. But that's a big Focus Blast miss. But in both games, I played Weavile poorly, so that's something to take note of. With Mew, how would I handle Mew? Well, given I'm guessing he must have been Sash Gengar, because if the Mew just let me, if Mew let me SD. You put a lot on that game, because a lot of his team was weak to, like, remember the other variant I had was low kick. I mean, that's pretty rare, but that variant would have to only, what would he have to do? He'd have to Might have just gotten swept straight up. So let's break it down. Landers, this guy, I like this guy's team. Very underrated stuff. Terrakion, Latios, Zapdos. Obviously Landorus is necessary for Garch. More so Terrakion than anything else. Weavile can somewhat help with Garch. I can overwhelm with Victini if it's well coordinated, especially if Garchomp is defensive, expanding force and whatnot. And if Finny gets battered, it's easier time for Weavile. Easier, right? He has a Ferrothorn, so not exactly, but. And I'm also playing this like it's a full-on balanced team when it's more bulky offense than anything. There's no real wall on the team. Ferrothorn guards against one member, and kind of Lele's Moonblast are very dangerous. So our goal here is to overwhelm that Ferrothorn early. And the weakest link to my team is certainly Finny. Or Nature's Madness first. It could be. I lose way too much value if he goes hard Ferrothorn and I Moonblast. Now if he goes Ferrothorn, it's like Gorn. Okay, I was like, who's Gorn? So while Ferrothorn is very important for it's debatable, but it's decently important. Like I'd like to keep it. Leech Seed made the most sense there. I'm hoping to bait him. Actually, I was hoping to bait the. Bait the Ferrothorn into now he loses a mana, I'm pretty sure. Well, if he's in a Mystical Fire, no, he doesn't. I mean, you certainly I'd Victini first, then pivot into I think how Draco works is the Mon that's grounded. I actually always thought that the Mon that's attacking Draco gets weakened, but I remember who I was talking to, and they were like, "Nah, it's the other way around, Jim." But so obviously he has no good psychic resist. Psychic is Psy Shock does not KO because we were trying to overwhelm the Ferrothorn, right? We identified that he's pretty weak to Fairy. We have two pretty solid Fairy types. Defensively, Finny is really hard for him to deal with. Like he has a lot of heavy hitters, but let's say Garchomp dies. I guess he has Terrak and all that. I'm talking out my ass right now. Oh, Moonblast did 0, so he's like max Spadef. Okay, which implies some rocks going up here. Then what would be a solution to the Ferrothorn? Zapdos, perhaps. Yeah, I figured spikes would come, but I expected rocks, not spikes. So this Garchomp is confidently the rocker then. But I don't want this to be able to. This punishes my Lele, right? Punishes my Lele and my Finny. But I think at this point, he has 3 main ways to deal with Ferrothorn. The 2 fighting types and his Latios. Latios coming in loses him a lot of momentum. So I didn't think that would be his mon of choice. Well, not momentum per se. I guess now, you can technically. He took a lot less from knockoff than I expect. He took 55%. But yeah, Victini obviously low because of the Garchomp. And Mystical Fire would harm, but we don't want to just keep going into Finny. But we can't leave Ferrothorn in. It doesn't kill any, just give my mon away for free. Finny coming in on a Psychic would be pretty shit. Lele coming in is best. But obviously with the... And so who's the guy we can... I'd say Vic. Like, I don't think he ever Dracos. Okay, he might have it. So we get to hard switch to double switch to Lele here. because he'd either Draco if he's gonna stand. He might have Surf, I guess. Mystical Fire Surf. There's the Garchomp. And now Ferrothorn gets to it. Moonblast did 23, coming at 40 something. I'm still Moonblasting. If he comes in, so be it. I don't want to Psyshock into this Garchomp, and he's faster than me, and I get to it KO. That's a waste of a Lele, right? He is faster, but he just decides I'm just gonna give up the Garchomp, which I can see the logic, right? I can see the okay. I want this Lele to take 25. It's a huge issue. It's just a question of what his end game is, because now I can just Psyshock, and there's nothing you can do. So Zapdos is in. Zapdos is one of those mons that does weird shit a lot. So I don't trust it. Don't trust it at all. And it has just enough speed to be a problem. And I can't switch into it at all. But if he went hard Zapdos, he's probably Brave Bird. And I really want his Ferrothorn gone for my Finny. How does one deal with this behemoth? If I go Victini, Victini forces in Latios, which lets in Lele. Lele only outspeeds. Lele only outspeeds his Finny. I'll give him the Lele. I'll give him the Lele. Only outspeeds the Finny. I really wish I could Victini here, but he could easily just go into Latios, and we don't know enough about that Latios at this point to feel confident with that. So we'll Weavile and Triple Axle. You know, punish Finny as much as we can. But this Zapdos is a huge issue. A huge problem. Because it can outspeed my Victini. So there's the Finny. Makes sense. Ferrothorn's Gyro Ball is lethal right now. I guess maybe I'm overvaluing Landers. No, I'm not. If that Terrakion is what I think, it's over. So it commits to Whirlpool, which I don't mind. You should have Taunt then and commit to the taunt. If not, then I'll just Gyro Ball into the. I'd assume either Zapdos or Latios. He keeps confidently going to Latios. Yeah, there's the taunt. Gyro Ball is probably Nature's Madness committing. Now, him just giving me Finny like this does mean that Weavile is a far bigger issue. In fact, it almost just wins. Problem is I don't have setup fodder. I might not need it though. I might not need it. At best right now is Whirlpool. I have leftovers. Pharaoh, and Finny gets killed. No. Yeah, I'd rather have Pharaoh in. I was gonna like have Pharaoh die, and then have the free switch on Finny. I guess it matters what his Terrak is, right? Because I mean, at this point, like he's Weavile fodder. Somewhat. You know, we gotta figure out. I guess Ferrothorn is. So he commits to Latios, which is interesting because the Latios invites Finny. And Latios, if he Dracos, if I can force him to Draco Meteor, if that's what he has, then Weavile sets. I guess it just, again, it comes down to what his Terrak is. So Mystical Fire. Let's see if he has Draco Meteor. Doesn't matter, I guess. I'll keep this for the speed tie potential. So I just let Victini's health doesn't matter. I thought about the SD. I would win if he Draco's here and I get the SD off. But if he Scarf Tarak, I then lose Weavile. And I don't think I can beat the Zap. Could, but like now it's a little easier. Well, I guess I get to knock. Not amazing, but he's faster. He knocks first. So the Latios, he's playing the Latios like it can't. Like it can't beat me. So I blue flare. Is there a point not to V-create? V-create drops my Spadef. Now blue. I don't know why he's playing the Latios like that. Unless it's not Scarf. Unless he thought far enough and he's like, I'm not Scarf. So if I Draco his Victini, his Weavile sets up for free. I don't think he's Scarf Rack. Yeah, I don't think he's Scarf to Rack if he was willing to sack. Now I regret, sacking so Ferrothorn's gone. So it's still similar enough for this position. He's forced to go to Terrakion here. We get to find out what kind of Terraki is. As he locks himself into Stone Edge. Well, I'm saying locks as if that has to be the case. So Tarak comes in. Obviously, Finny is damn good here. He can't double to Zapdos because I am faster. And I look Scarf. Now the concern is, hitting Zapdos. So I could have no human earthquakes there. So it's a very good play. I'm surprised he sacks Zapdos. Now he guaranteed loses. Is that true? No, that's not true. What do you do? Like, what is this? Finny said. My player is always to go Victini though. So Size Shock is his other move. Okay. Is he like Calm Mind or something? Okay. I just knock off here, even if he goes rack. Oh, right. I forgot that he, I actually completely forgot I knocked his item off already. I think knock still is the play. If I miss triple axle there, then it could be dicey. Because at the very least, now I can go for triple axle to confirm the choice Scarf. Yeah, he was Scarf. Okay, so I made the proper series of decisions then. Yeah, edge crits there. Let that be your crit for the game. 95. Let that be your crit for the game. This guy is scum. Homie scum. Scum. He said, hey, I respect the transparency. Homie is scum. Like, Homie said, 2 crits, please. You're a scum, bro. I respect it, man. So, yeah. So when road has been taking up a lot of my, I guess, my focus. I'm gonna go back to slightly more casual so I can. It's not as much emphasis because it takes up a lot more time to find these teams and all that stuff. And I have so many projects that I need to complete, not just that like they need to be done because they're taking up too much of my mental RAM. And so a lot of them are writing projects. So when I just focus, sit down, and just get them done. If I miss a few days, that's kind of what caused the missed days of uploads. Just get them done. And when that's the case, now I freed up my mind to be able to focus like on getting my skill back up to par, because I'm at like maybe 65% right now, 70%, and I can tell, but it's just I don't have the time. Well, I'm not using my time for this. That's a more accurate statement. So the aim here is to really just overwhelm with the Lele. I wish I had Psychic. Psychic would have been more fun, because Psyshock just does nothing to Melmetal, but I guess Psychic, maybe wouldn't have either. Finny is amazing. Volcanion is a problem, but Victini is amazing. Victini expanding force, amazing. Yeah, Melmetal is just the key to success for him, right? It's like kind of the cornerstone of his team. Tapu Fini is... I'm just thinking, I think the worst case scenario is to stare down that Barraskewda. Or that Volcanion. No, the Volcanion is worse. I'm actually gonna... Surprise Pelipper is the Mon, but it's actually pretty good because I have Thunder. Yeah, I get to hit a Solvest Mel. He's probably gonna double out to the Seismitoad here, which is likely a rocker. So be it. I'd much rather have Volcanion is what he goes to. Volcanion makes sense too. Well, I don't know enough about this Pokemon. Actually, that was a risky as shit play. Volcanion, but that lets me know, like, because the thing is, if I double Thundered there, you just lose the Volcanion versus, I'm just debating what Ferrothorn's purpose is here. Not his purpose, but what I want to do with it. So I'll finish first. I don't think he Sludge Bombs. If he Sludge Bombs, kudos, or Sludge Waves. Should Steam Eruption hard. He's Specs. Okay. Ouch. 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 Because I am max Spadef. Damn near. The damage helps, but, him being Specs, obviously, isn't fun. The Melmetal is a bitch. But so be it. I'll have to simply just overwhelm it repeatedly. A double to Volcanion again here would be pretty bad. Pharaoh is really important though. A double to Volcanion here would be pretty bad for me. Pharaoh is mad important though. If he superpowers, kudos. If he superpowers on my Lando, kudos. Yeah. He seems like a pretty aggro style of player. And here's just Steam Eruptioning. Because he figures, well, if I Steam Eruption, you can't knock me out. And I lose way too much momentum if you go Victini or anything else. So I have to predict. Oh, he actually Flamethrowed. Wow. Did not expect Flamethrower. Very good play. I mean, he's outplaying me thus far. I think Steam Eruption was the better play. If I go Victini there and you don't Steam Eruption, it puts you in a really poor spot. But it is what it is. Just gotta make do. So catch the Seismitoad there, which is great. Figured that would be his initial play. The problem is now I just lose to Barraskewda. What could I have risked there? I guess I should have risked Victini. Yeah, I didn't play this one well. I didn't manage my risk versus reward well in this. I didn't manage my risk versus reward well in this at all. So now he just gets to go to Barraskewda and there ain't shit I can do. Oh well, I lose. Yep. And I just lose. Yep. So I have the two. He played the Volcanion. Like, I have nothing for Volcanion, particularly Specs Water Volcanion. So I didn't respect the Volcanion enough. And he used it well. He identified, okay, you're weak to that. And I didn't realize, I didn't go through his team well enough to know what threats he had to me. So that was one of those things where you just like, you should have assessed it better, Jam. But yeah, I think if I just sit down, let me see, because I want to just So I have 3 losses to give. So I'll just keep playing and this will be a long one. As we learn the team, because the team isn't the issue. I'm just not playing it as effectively as it could be. I forget what these things do. I have priority, but I think they depend heavily on shit like that. And if I recall correctly, it's not Hack's Cloister. And let's find out. Let's find the fuck out. Shall we? So obviously he just died a V-Create here. So that's something that I'm sure he's wary of. I'm going to Blue Flare first. I think it's no risk. Like naturally naturally Victini guards against Tapu Lele. So it's pretty low risk for me. V-Create would one-shot, but like what's the rush to one-shot? Besides, I somewhat want Cloister in. I don't want to V-Create and have his Cloister coming on my Victini. This Espeon, I know they run Yawn. So I've seen Yawn and stuff like that. How does this work? Can you fall asleep in terrain? Either way, we go back to Victini. Lele makes a lot of sense here. As we Blue Flare once more. He probably thinks that I'm focused on special. But again, Lele naturally is weak to Victini. As long as we connect our moves, puts me in a favorable position. Because my weakest, the best way to get me is with gimmicks. Like the first time, like, because I don't, like I play in a very, I play in in a way that, when I'm playing well, right? And obviously today isn't the best day, but gives you the highest probability. Given the more possible or probable sets a mon can run. But stuff like this is like you're purely go hoping to get your opponent by surprise. Like that's your strategy. It's not like no skill, right? It requires some skill to maneuver. But it's 90% strategy. It's maybe 10% skill or 80% strategy. And so because I remember something from Jan from back in the day, because I remember this team would always figure out a way. I've learned from the mistakes of the past. And so my opponent is in a very awkward position because he's like, well, shit, like, what is all this, right? I think this is Sash. So my player is a U-turn in Pharaoh Gyro. I want to say this is Sash. I don't remember. He gets the speed boost. Finny here into Moonblast as he shell smashes would mean what for us? It mean, does he die? Would he die? And then Finny, what do I need Finny for? It's a very weird, I don't know enough about Amistar. I don't think he can 2-hit KO me. And with the gyro ball, all the speed. All right. Actually, that was, yeah. I'm tripping because weak armor works twice. So with because what would you do here? Yawn. Try to get the red card, I guess. I really don't know how this works, but I'd rather go Finny if I'm going to anything. I don't remember how this works. There we go. We're back again. Damn, Daniel, we're back again with the white fans. So, now he's obviously terrified of my Cloister. I mean, my Victini, because I can kill his Cloister. I know Poltergeist was sashed. So if this is sashed, I remember I allowed it to weak armor me once, and that was one of the bigger issues because it shell smashed, and because I'm trying to remember what like I don't want. Well, he has psychic terrain up, so if I go Finny and he shell smashes, that gets rid of the terrain issue. Weavile can't get one shot. Weavile cannot get one shot. So my play here is to U-turn on into Weavile and kill it. I'm powering up his stored power if I U-turn. I don't think he can ever kill Weavile though. That's my biggest concern. I'm like, okay, is there something I'm missing that he could do to Weavile? So if I U-turn, I don't want him to get a bunch of shell smashes off. I'm gonna just U-turn out and go to my Weavile. Let's see if he can kill Weavile. I don't think he can. So if he gets his sash back, he'll live. Triple Axles can miss. If he gets his sash back, he can live. Then I gotta stall out 5 turns of terrain. Triple Axling. Okay. I was like, okay, I just didn't want any kind of shenanigans, because I'm like, okay, I remember these things were sashed. Now, if Triple Axel missed, it would have been sucked. But if I knocked, you'd have gotten down the sash, and then it gets really. I can outplay it. It's just it would get really funny after that. Because the goal is to not get him to the point where he can live an ice shard. But I guess after the millions and millions of defense drops he'd have to get, there'd be no chance. So I'm like how I maneuvered that one. The Celesteela game was probably the toughest loss. The last loss was on me, but Celesteela one is pretty gut wrenching. But yeah, we'll get back on top of things and bring more quality, because I don't like when I upload stuff that aren't quality, but I just don't have the time to dedicate to training right now, and I don't want to just not upload. And so that's been the tricky thing with Road to Top 10, wanting to get the practice in, finding it hard to get serious time to do so, but then not wanting to just stop uploading until I have the time to do so. So we just gotta have to make do with what we got right now, and in due time, obviously the quality will be back to par. Let's just say. King here is certainly Lele. Overwhelm the steals with hazards in Lele. Urshifu is big issue, but if I overwhelm the Heatran with Ferrothorn, then we're looking at, let's see, Expanding Force. The question is, who do we commit to? I think committing to Victini is best. I actually did not expect Scizor. This is best case. So it's Helmet, Pex. So obviously here, if I were to Lele, it'd go Scizor. So I think long-term wise, it's better to start getting my hazards going. It's Helmet. Knock on Heatran here would be lovely. I'll double knock, because again, removing the item is better here than anything else. Ferrothorn is super important. A lot of my team, particularly Victini, already has what's his face? No, I have to eat a Magma Storm here. He toxics. Okay, he's like, fuck it, I'm not gonna Now the toxic spike matters a lot versus Finny in particular, but my key right here is now the Shifu Rapid Strike. This must be protective pads then. That or you're really trying to force my Finny in, which you successfully done. That was high. I was gonna actually U-turn. I was like, shit, you know, at this point, you know, Lando, I wouldn't say it served its purpose by no means, but I certainly was going to give that up there. Okay, disagree with it, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Like, your Shifu, you gave me a lot of momentum, and your Shifu is now Weavileable. I don't understand why you played it like that. I guess you have your Scizor for Weavile. Now I don't need Psychic Terrain up to. Well, I mean, I guess after the rocks, I probably didn't need Psychic Terrain up for the Urshifu anyway. But you know, now as far as his Toxapex was certainly annoying though. So there's that Tran Heat as he's, you know, gonna go for the Magma Storm here, and fortunately I cannot do much about it. So as we said, now him magmaing again here would be really bad for us. Like, I've noticed a lot of defog landers. I've put in way too much work to, put in way too much work to let him defog there. So the upside of me knocking off the Rocky Helm is that I don't get punished by Triple Axla as badly, but the Scizors probably can take on my what's it face every time. So I need the Psychic Terrain up. I just don't know how I'm gonna get it. I guess the Lando is probably deep if Toxic Magma, or maybe the Scizor is defog, or nobody's defog. I just don't want to waste my time, you know. That's my biggest thing. Triple Axle, Toxapex, Scalds. Right, Pex comes in, obviously. An SD there would have meant on 2 turns of terrain, he recovers here. But even if he doesn't, my biggest concern is Heatran coming back in, especially because his item's already knocked off. I guess I can't really get around the, okay. So, so that's how that, that's actually really clutch. I'm really glad I caught the Heatran. So we side shock twice instead of playing around with a bunch of luck. Then I can at least go for, so Scizor comes in. If he has defog, that sucks. So now he has to commit to U-turn. No, I think he has to roost though. Oh, what? Homie has knock? Oh, I lost. That was really high risk. I've never seen defensive knockoff Scizor. So obviously now that's the end of me. So now we just, that's the end of me. You know, Heatran comes in, but we just expanding force. Actually, this might not kill. This might not kill. 21%. Now is Heatran being, I'm not playing this well. I'm not playing this well at all. I did not expect the Scizor to have knock. Cause what I really wanted to do was go Lando there. And I figure, I'm like, well, if I go Lando, like, knock off there, me going Lando and you knock off there is like best case scenario. Like, that's like the worst possible situation for my opponent. So Again, I'm guessing that it's Scarf Lando. But the way he's been playing, he's given me several opportunities to pull this back. So, man, if I would land on a Scizor there, it was done. Like, he'd take Rocky Helmet, he'd be in range of EQ, I want to say, because I'm assuming he's max Spadef, based on how much he took from Psyshock. Even if he roosted, he'd be intimidated, I'd get the U-turn, he'd be forced to roost, then I'd get the free switch into Victini. So yeah, like, just not playing this well. Yeah, I mean, I gotta go to... I can't let his Lando come in for free. But I guess it can't be helped right now. He goes to Urshifu. He'll CC for the game. I still have my helmet, right? So Urshifu is gone, but at what cost? You know, at what cost? And since Finny is gone, I'm very surprised he commits to Pex here. Like, if I crit your Pex, you lose. Like, why are you... Okay. Homie plays really oddly. Can't lie. I could have played this better. I think Weavile always dies, even if... Okay, so yeah, just boots Coco. But the problem with Coco is that you don't kill me. I wonder if he knew that. Homie played this mad weird. Like, mad weirdly. Like, now Ferrothorn is a genuine issue. I don't know. You know, cool. Like, very, very weirdly played game. Like, now, Lele coming in, like, just kills. Like, I'm just getting kills. I don't know. Maybe I just overestimated here. I still think it's Scizor depending on the second win. If it's SD Bullet Punch, that's interesting. But, I mean, you know. It's not SD. The way he's playing, it's not Swords Dance. Which means Pex only has Skull to go off of. Which means if I can... I'll knock on the off chance he doubles out to Scizor for some reason. Skull's though, good play. Let's just get up all my hazards. So when the Pex comes in, it gets heavily punished. I'll keep knocking until I get his Scizor, and obviously the Pex is at a disadvantage. So now I'll Thunder if I hit and para. Oh, that sucks. So it seems as if the Pex, if I stall out the no, he probably was just trying to predict my Weavile, if I'm honest. Yeah, he's trying to predict my Weavile with the Scald, so that Weavile doesn't come in and SD up under Psychic Terrain, which is a genuine concern. Like, that's a problem for you. Since you can't BP, you'd only have Knock to go off of. So you'd assume I'll just knock here. There's no rush. I'll just knock spam. As he PP stalls. He might stall this turn. He knocks. And then I'll Weavile this turn to get that lefty. Yup. If I SD here, isn't that game? If he burns me though, that sucks. If I SD here, Skull doesn't kill. Knock. Leech Seed. Let's go for broke. I don't want to waste any more time. Okay, no burn. Skull does 24%. Excellent. Excellent. I don't know what the Scizor has. If it has SD, then I'm shocked. Okay, so it's just 3 attacks. Okay. Which doesn't mean that's still a problem, right? But far less so than the alternatives. Because now it's Rocky Helmet, so I'm doing 7%. I'm gaining, so I'm at 45%. He U-turns, takes 12. I'm at 24. I'm gaining 6% per turn. It's not enough. So let's say he roosts this turn and I go to Lele. Yeah, that's the play. I have to hope that because I get enough. Psyshock, since he doesn't have his item, I guess the question is Weavile's knockoff without Scizor having an item. Scizor, I guess, OU specially defensive, I'd assume. Knockoff does no life orb, way too much power, bro. Leftovers, nice leftovers. Whoa, adamant too? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. And itemless Scizor. None. Does 29 to 34. 29 to 34, and U-turn shouldn't kill me. And Psyshock did. I think Psyshock did enough. Yeah, 42. That's a lot. Yeah. And because I'm normal poison. I just don't think Moonblast will do much. I think if I knock off. If I get a crit on Psyshock soon too. Or stall out the roost, I guess. Because now, you know, in its best interest to bullet punch. And so you'd have to U-turn, but it doesn't kill. Right. Roosts, he has 8 roosts left. If he U-turns here, I think I win guaranteed. Yeah, he shouldn't U-turn. Now he U-turns here. Oh wow, Ferrothorn is a champ. U-turn shouldn't be able to kill from 63. So let's see. Lele comes in at 63 because he's still 64. So I'm gaining more health than I'm losing. And he's losing way too much health. Good knockoff. Oh, knock is something I didn't consider. Oh, that's tough. That's a tough. Okay, para, full para. Knock was a very good play. Knock was a damn. I didn't consider knockoff. Knock was a damn good play. Thunder's doing 32%, but I can't lose the psychic terrain. So U-turn there. It's gonna come down to 32%. Focus Blast and Thunder is accuracy. I can do one stronger though. Oh, homie put it all on the line just now. If I hit Focus Blast on one, I guess, you know, now I have to hope he doesn't get hexed. I hope he gets hexed. Yeah. I think he played that end game terribly. But we did what we could. So let's see. I'm not playing my best either. So I mean, it's like that was like the game of who played worse. But we have 2 L's to give, so we're gonna continue going. I'm not trying to lose out all the road to top 10. I just know the team has the potential. I'm just not playing well enough. So, you know, maybe I should just stop this one and then, like, because I don't want it to end out on me just like tilting it down or anything. But I don't feel tilted or anything. I just know that I just didn't play that well enough, you know. So, yeah, the Victini play was a big mistake. So now I gotta remember that Scizor can run that set. Knock off, no defog, no SD, or any of that. because obviously if we kept Victini there, but super high risk. I just knew if I went Lando there, it would have been pretty bad for him. But as you can see how he played in the end game, I don't think he was thinking that far. This game, Kurum's a huge issue. I have to hazard up Lele. If I hyper aggressive with my Lele, I can really eat his lunch. Which is why I figured, Torn makes a lot of sense here. Yeah, Torn makes a lot of sense to cover for really anything I could do there. Like, Torn is just phenomenal. Triple axel hurts if Pex is the amount of choice here. Shed shell. Okay, I wasn't sure. Feels helmet, that would have been pretty annoying. A double to Torn here makes a lot of sense as well. It's really not about the Torn, it's about my Lele and getting that in safely. If I can make some maneuvers well enough, my Victini can really punish my opponent. So Ferrothorn, there's a Torn, as we said. No surprise there. Weakest link is going to be Finny for sure. It does pack Heat Wave. I wasn't sure if it would. So this allows for at least a Nature's Madness. He'll never go Pex. I'm trying to bluff Whirlpooled. So Whirlpool. Trying to bluff Whirlpool. Yeah, excellent. I want Gastro in because that's a Victini answer. I wouldn't be shocked if he went to Pex here and then doubled back to Gastro, but he's committing to the Gastro. Nature's Madness again. It just does a little bit more value than... There we go. So now he should double back to Gastrodon. Now, it could Toxic. Toxic is an option as well. Yeah, I wanted the Nature's Madness there, but... now he should be in a sphere. What was I trying to say there? Excellent. I want the Gastro heavily battered. I want this battered down for my Victini. So ideally he leaves this in. What is going the fuck on, yo? Like, what the fuck? What? Brothers, my brothers and sisters. What the fuck? Now, Thunder here is saucy. It's really aggressive. Oh, he actually goes hard Kurum. That is crazy. It's Spadefkor. I don't think you take 34 from... So he's trying to get his Gastrodon back up to... Yeah, Roos was your play there. It's lefties. Okay. So I'm struggling with the Gastro. Torn makes a lot of sense. Him toxicking me is so big. What the fuck? Who runs toxic, dude? Help me. Man. I mean, I see the vision, right? I see the vision, but it's just... Okay, knock off. Yeah, okay then. Torn makes sense. The toxic is just not toxic plus knockoff is concerning, and Heat Wave is just the perfect like moves, just like the perfect set of moves for me. Now he's trying to stop Victini from coming in. I remember we faced that Torn that wasn't even max speed. So maybe that's the case with this. So what I'll do is, since Landers is pretty low value, he has defog. I gotcha. It'd be really bad for him to get toxic on this, but he might not be thinking about that. Yeah, that's the better play. But I figured if you go Corviknight, it allows me to get my rocks back. So it's not the end of the world, right? I would like your Torrens item, but can't be helped at the moment. And Ferrothorn probably can't keep his item this game. If I go Finny, there's literally no reason for him not to just double knock. So I'm gonna aggressively target down this Tornadus. I'm gonna take his item here. He actually predicts me to double. Probably the Weavile. Oh, you want that Torn to keep his item. I respect it. But I want that. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need them boots. Toxic makes sense here too, but so Toxic again. Like Corviknight makes the most sense, but I figured he'd just aggressively expect me to overextend. That was a horrible trade for him. Whoa, that Corviknight is fast. That was a horrible trade for him. Now you really struggle with this Victini. Blue Flare, expanding. I really don't want to show him expanding force. U-turn is a little better here because I know Pex is coming. Now I can show you expanding force. So we double out into Victini here. Clefable, interesting. We expanding force. What is this? T-Wave? Okay, I wish. Gastro might be able to live this. If he create would hurt, but he'd get to wish and my expanding force would end. Why would Clef be here? He's trying to scout out what I have to hit him. Yeah, this is not an easy game. This is not one I can win quickly, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure that's just a Fizz-Def Clef. I'll expanding force this time and then try to bait him into not protecting and V-create. I could go to the Gastro. That would leave his Clef low enough. But he could commit to the Gastro. I respect it. It's interesting how well, I guess that's a human thing. People are very hungry for acknowledgement and attention. I've come to realize that. Well, I mean, you see it in everything, right? So I mean, I'm sure if you look into the DMs of certain people, it's just a shit show in there. I think we're a lot dumber than we realize, us human beings. There we go. So he does bait him into a false sense of security. As Gastrodon now gets to come in. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. I'll let you recover. I'll let you recover for today. Let you recover. So the Torn has a doozy of a set, but oh, come on, bro. We needed that. I really did need that Leech Seed hit. Now he has all the leverage. You can double the cure him here. And there's very little I can do. He doesn't though. So he can't touch Finny. He wouldn't have been able to touch Finny. It's a generally low risk heat wave here, but I guess there's no real reason. There is a reason. I don't want Torn. There we go. There we go. There we go. So now it's a really big problem if I go directly into anything. Like, it's really high risk if I go directly in anything. That's a good ass heat wave. That's a good ass heat wave. That's a good heat wave. He's double defog. I just realized that. It's a good heat wave. So Torn's dead. I think he just didn't think I had the ball of gyro. The ball of gyro. What is this? It's probably specs. What the fuck? Why'd you go Kirim? I've been run up on by DD Kirim too many damn times. Your boy is shook. If it's DD, I just Moonblast spam, don't I? Why would you go? You must just can't touch me. Yeah, you must be just like, okay, I'm not confident. Confident, huh? You heard that voice cry. I'm not confident. This probably doesn't have U-turn, yeah. Okay, so Corvi, yeah, makes sense. It's just I'm just curious as to what it. Okay, so it does have U-turn. Probably ice beams here. I'll just roost. Okay, so he does have it. So he's not okay then. I can just Moonblast spam then until my Lele can come out. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting indeed. So this allows for us to blast with the moon. Psyshock did. Doesn't really matter how much Psyshock did, right? Psyshock's a play. Thunder makes sense, but we force Corviknight to heal, and then this gets the Psychic Terrain in. Obvious Expanding Force here. No matter what he does, Expanding Force is the play. Even if he tries to predict what is he going to go to. A worthless Gastrodon, you know, where you have to attack me. And that gives me Leech Seed time. Now I'm going to punish this Kyurem that keeps coming in. Well, yeah, I figured he'd predict me to double. That's a good play. Now we pivot Lele in and Thunder. If we connect here, it's a big Thunder. Big Thunder. Because you'd expect me to pivot out into Victini here. Yup, gone. Evaporation! Now Kyurem's a bitch. I really don't. It's Roost. Maybe DD. If that's the case, my play is to overwhelm with Victini. Yeah, Expanding Force. Lele hard. Yeah. Now we just Moonblast spam. It might just be sub roost. That took a choice specs. He played this game very oddly. Particularly in the end game. I'm really not sure what his goal was. Like, I think towards the end, I think after he allowed the Clef to go, I think he had a pretty formidable team for me. I don't know what the Kyurem was. It took a choice specs Moonblast, and it wasn't even like 1%. It took it like a excuse me, like a champion. So it could have been like some sub freeze dry kind of deal with Toxic, and he just pressure stalls. Like, his team seems like the nature, like that kind of style. Yeah, we're just gonna. It's clear that I'm not in the mental state to be. I really didn't want to skip today. Like, I knew, you know, but it's whatever. We'll get back to the point where, more so for y'all than for me, you know, where you can actually get far better playing, right? I feel like I'm just kind of going off impulse. There's some thought process, but as you notice, my team previews in this detail, and I just have a lot of stuff on my brain. I need to get those things done, as I said. So forgive me if this isn't the most climactic end to the road. It's not the end yet, but you know, you get what I'm saying. I'm human. Thanks for watching, guys. We're roughly 1800. I'll stop there.